What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review of Power. What are we doing? Season 6, episode 7. So I'm an episode behind. So this is last week's episode. I'm letting you know now. Got behind. I was gonna combine the two episodes, but my Power reviews are so long. I feel like if I combine the two, it'd be like an hour long review. So let's go ahead and get through this. So we start this episode off. Ghost looked like he finally grew a pair, and he wakes Tariq up with the gun to his face, and he's giving him the whole, as Tariq would say, the whole scared straight routine, and he's telling him, he was like, look, you know what I'm saying, this is going to stop. You pulled this caper, you let Tommy into the apartment to kill me. He goes through the whole thing, and Tariq still ain't buying it. Tariq don't care. Tariq ain't scared. Tariq said, look, I owe Tommy. He was like, what you mean you owe Tommy? You owe me. He was like, no, I owe Tommy because I stole product from him and he didn't know about it. Ghost was like, he knew. He knew you were dealing. He was like, I told him I stopped. So he didn't know that I stole his product from him. So Ghost was like, okay. Like his wheels are turning or whatever. He was like, look, get some clothes on and come on with me. Tariq opens, he leaves the gun on the bed. There were no bullets in the gun. And Tariq knew that. Because Tariq was like, I'm your son. You're not going to shoot me. Ghost was like, really? Officer, I don't know what happened to my son. He never been the same since his sister died. He just lost control. He got suspended from school, expelled from school. Like, he was giving him his alibi. And I think for a quick second, like this long of a second, Tariq was thinking, and this long of a second, like, he might shoot me. But it ain't last long. Tariq really, he just, anyway. They go to the apartment, and the apartment is boarded up, shot up, everything. And Tariq is looking around like, Uncle Tommy did this? He was like, yeah, Uncle Tommy did this. You let him in here to kill me. And yes, look at the apartment now. Now do you believe that he wasn't really trying to kill you, like, for real? Kill me? So he ends up robbing Tariq. He stole Tariq money. Tariq was like, I can't believe you robbing me. He was like, dope. He was like, corner boys get robbed all the time. This is the game. He was like, but I'm your son. Now it's convenient when you wanted to be convenient that he your son. Then he said, I work hard for that money. Ghost was like, do you know, if you were anybody else on the street, you would already be dead. Like, you playing this game real sideways. And you think that, because you my son, that I'm going to give you, So anyway, he calls him Ghost. Don't you call me Ghost no more. He was like, can you make me one more promise? Promise you won't talk to Tommy again. And that's when I knew Ghost still, like, you was playing hard for, like, all this time. But the minute you was like, don't talk to Tommy again, I knew. I was like, you really think this dude is listening to you? He is not listening to you, Ghost. So then he's telling Tasha what he did. Tasha is coming at him like, are you crazy? Like, you pulled a gun on our son? Like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, look, I had to make him understand that this is real. I had to get him to understand that this is real. He was like, but, he told her about the money and that he was keeping the money in Raina's room and all of that. He was like, yeah, so, my job is to get him through school and to get him through college and help him get a better life. And, I'm going to do what I got to do. He respects me now. Tasha was like, no, he's afraid of you now. He hates you now. Well, that's all right. He'll learn to love me later. He'll understand and appreciate what I'm doing for him. And that's when I knew. I said, Ghost still don't get it. Ghost really does not understand and has not grasped how far and how deep his son is into all of this. He really thinks that, he really thinks his son is this prep school boy that's playing at being a drug dealer. He don't understand that whether Tariq's good or bad at it, he has decided this is the life that he wants. I said, poor Ghost. He still think. Anyway. And of course, while they arguing, Tariq is listening. And what did Tariq do? Left the apartment. Where did he go? To Tommy's house. Anyway. Now, while all of this is going on, Tommy and Keisha are having a conversation. And Keisha's pissed off that Tommy even helped Tariq. And Tommy was like, what are you talking about? Tariq is family. Like, I couldn't just not help. Like, I couldn't just... She was like, oh, so what are me and Cash? Me and Cash aren't family? And I was like, what is wrong with Keisha? Like, I don't get it. Like, you grew up with these people. I understand that you pissed off at Tasha. And maybe you feel some kind of way about Ghost. But you can't really not feel like you don't understand why Tommy did what he did for Tariq. Like, that's his godfather. Like, they've been rocking since before Tariq was even born. Like, some bonds just are deep. And Tasha, Keisha, you know that. Like, stop playing. You know that. But anyway, so then she, she's basically fussing at him about, him helping and who, the nan 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 that Keisha does. But Tommy said he does have to figure something out because, of course, he don't have any more product. He lost his connect. He ain't got no money, so he does have to sort of figure this out. Down to the warehouse, the fellas are down there fussing about the same situation, and they realized that somebody done stole some of the product. Now we know that it was Tariq that stole it, but of course, Keisha just happens to walk in at that moment where they talking about product being stolen. And Keisha was like, so who stole it? And she ends up blaming the dude, the one with all the mouth. She ends up blaming him. And he was like, yo, you can't tell Tommy that I didn't steal no product, but you can't even tell Tommy because we know how Tommy get. He don't even think straight. And he goes to grab Keisha. What'd he do that for? And Keisha gonna run back and tell Tommy. And the other guys were like the same way. They were like, oh my God, she about to run back and tell Tommy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why did you put your hands on that woman? Oh, Tommy gave Keisha a gun for protection. That's important later. So, down to the Tate headquarters, his chief of staff finally put the pieces together and figured out that Tate is sleeping with his wife, and he ends up walking in on him. Tate tries to smooth talk it and smooth things over, but dude is not having it, and he is threatening to expose Tate. So, we get back to that. But that's what's going on down to the Tate offices. So, well, I'll go ahead and knock that out. Anyway, let's go ahead and just knock him out. So, Tate ends up talking to Ghost about it. Like, look, we got a problem. Woo woo. He's threatening to go to the news. It'll expose me. What's going to happen? And so he's trying to get Ghost to go talk to the dude, and he wants Ghost to rough him up a little bit, even threaten him. Hell, maybe even kill him. That's what he thinks Ghost's going to do. Ghost goes to talk to him, and he basically makes a deal with the dude, and he offers him to be, he gives him the offer that he'll be in charge of the Queen's project, the building that they building for, and with a hefty salary and all this other stuff, and that basically will shut him up. Then the old chick goes to the girl and finds out what she wants. Now, first they offer for her and Tate to get married. And she was like, because I guess that's what she thought she wanted, was to get married to Tate. She was like, no, I don't want to marry him. She was like, oh, well, what is it that you want? Come to find out, old girl wants to go into politics. So she was like, oh, really? That's what you want? Okay, well, we can make that happen. So they end up making a deal with her to support her and back her up in the next election for whatever this position is that she wants. So, we'll get, then Tate gonna proposition the lady that came down from the DNC, gonna proposition her, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm interested in somebody else. So we know she's talking about Ghost. And her and Ghost was getting ready to have that conversation, but they got interrupted. But I'm sure that's something like Jada Nerd, shouts out to Jada Nerd, said something about to go down with that. Alright, I got them out the way. Now, in the meantime and in between time, Tariq made his way down to Tommy's apartment. Keisha opens the apartment, and Keisha don't have nothing for. Now, I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to give Keisha this much credit. Keisha is the only person that really understands, not the only person, but Keisha was the first person that we see on that really understands where Tariq is. She's like, look, Tariq is not the boy that we once knew. He is not the kid. Like, he's not that little kid that you thought you knew. Tariq is on some other stuff. So when Tariq shows up at the apartment, Keisha really ain't got no words for him, because Keisha already know that this whole situation is because of him out here wanting to play drug dealer. So he's looking for Tommy, and she like, Tommy ain't here. Why don't you just leave us alone? Leave us alone. You go over there and do what you do, and we're going to be doing what we do. So then he says, well, is Tommy in Brooklyn? Keisha was like, why would you say is he in Brooklyn? Tariq was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Keisha said, Tariq, did you steal that product? What are you talking about? I didn't steal any product. What you mean? She was like, mm-hmm. So she clearly does not believe Tariq. So when Tommy shows up, she tells Tommy what happened down to the warehouse and with the guy grabbing on her and everything. But she says, hold up, though. Don't worry about that for right now. Tariq is the one that stole your product. he was like, what are you talking about? Tariq didn't even know where I was. What you mean? Tariq didn't even know where I was. She said, yes, he did. And I don't know how he knew, but Tariq is the one that stole your product. And Tommy put it together with the day that he took the Uber ride using Tariq's car or whatever, using his account. So we'll get to that in a minute. Now, when Tariq comes out of the apartment, Tasha's waiting for him. And Tasha's like, see, your father thinks he got through to you, but I know he didn't. He told you to stay away from Tommy. He was like, look, I was just coming to say goodbye. Don't tell Ghost. She was like, oh, why not? You are. So she takes him to Ghost. So, anyway. Down to the FBI. They sitting here still trying to figure out how to get Ghost. They realize, they know that Tariq's lying. They just can't put their finger on what the lie is, where the lie is, and why there is a lie. But they know that Tariq is lying about something. The boss doesn't trust Saxe, and he tells the lady from the police detective, he tells her, look, I need you to get me some dirt on Saxe so we can get rid of Saxe. And she lets him know, look, that ain't my job. That ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to try to close this case. If, whatever's going on between you and Saxe, between you and Saxe. Down to the Tate headquarters, they have this big photo op with Dre, with them bringing Dre back together with his daughter and all of that. And Dre talking about some, okay, well, make sure that, this doesn't get on the news until after XYZ time. Like, you really think a politician that's using you for a photo op is going to wait till it's convenient for you? Stop it. Y'all know good and well that thing went on the first thing smoking, on the first news broadcast smoking. And who ended up saying it? Tommy's minions, right? We'll get back to them fools in a minute. So, Ghost lets Dre know that, he's still going, set him up to do, he gonna keep his promise and set him up. And Dre lets Ghost know, yeah, I know y'all was the ones that robbed that old spot. Like, I peeped it. So, y'all know. Tommy goes to meet up with Jason, and there's a new character that we meet up with, some dude from LA, Latino guy from LA. So I'm sure that's going to come into play later on, because in this one, all we did was kind of see them, introduce themselves. So I'm sure that'll come into play later on, honey. How, what, where, I don't know, but it will. Tommy ends up having a conversation with his minions. He confronts them about the whole situation with Keisha. And they were like, yo, they tried to plead their case and everything. But when it was all over said and done, Tommy didn't kill him. But Tommy did fire them. He was like, look, you done. I don't want to see you no more. And of course, they was pissed off. They was like, for real? Like, you really going to fire us over that? Like, we've been riding for you. We've been here for you, been your boys for all this time. And you going to fire us over that? But he does. So, Dre ends up hooking up with Tariq. And Tariq basically gets some product from Dre. Because at first Dre tried to hit him with the, I'm not in that game anymore. I don't do that anymore. And Tariq was like, yeah, whatever, you lying. Give me some drugs, dude. And they end up making a deal. And he ends up giving Tariq a brick of cocaine. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, does Tariq even know what to do with that? Because see, before when he had the pills, he had the automatic customer base at the high school. Does he know what to do with a brick of cocaine? Anyway. And we'll get to that in a minute, too. So, the minions come up with this plan. That if they can get Dre, if they can deliver Dre to Tommy, they'll get back in Tommy's good graces. All will be forgiven. They get their jobs back. Life will be lovely. So they come up with this plan that not only are they going to kidnap Dre and deliver Dre to Tommy, but they're also going to scare Keisha. They ain't going to really do nothing to Keisha, but they're going to scare Keisha, and hopefully she'll think that the life is too dangerous and she won't be a part of this life anymore. That was a dumb idea, but okay. So down to the school, the police detective went to go talk to Lisa Marie and interview her about her dad. And, she was like, I don't know anything. Tariq got me out the building. I don't know about what happened in the building. But she did mention something about her unicorn. they brought her a book bag back. That's what it was. The girl, that's how she used to start the conversation. And she was like, well, where's my unicorn? Mommy gave me that unicorn, blah, blah, blah. And of course, as a kid, she's just upset because that was probably one of the last things her mother gave her. Her mother's dead. She's, for her, it's like a reminiscent type of thing. But the police detective puts it together with, wait a minute. Mommy said, make sure I always keep it on my book bag, blah, blah, blah. So she puts it together. She ends up going through Sack's office looking for it. She finds it, finds the recording on it, and takes it to the boss. Because remember, the boss told her, let me know what's going on with Sax. I know everything ain't kosher. You give me the breakdown. Sax ends up getting fired. Okay? So finally, after all this time, Sax finally got daggone fired. But I'm sure that that's not the end of it. Ghost ends up approaching Keisha and offering Keisha money to leave town. Now again, Ghost, how dumb are you? Do you really think, Ghost just, you really think that she was going to leave town? Like, you really thought you could buy her off? Like, come on, Ghost. Like, really? Anyway. They take Tariq down to this new school. He says all the right things. They say all the right things. And Tariq gets back into a school. It's another private school, but this one is in New York. It's not an away school. So, he'll be living at home or whatever. And, of course, he said all the right stuff. And that's how they should know how scary Tariq is. For him to sit there and be able to talk the way he was talking and play that whole thing up, they should really realize how dangerous Tariq is. But anyway. Tariq had told Ghost that he went to Tommy's and that Keisha was there, and he was like, Keisha knows I took the drugs and I'm scared. And he wasn't scared. He just wanted Ghost to take care of the problem with Tommy. She's like, so can you go talk to Tommy, please? So that's why he offered Keisha the money, thinking that he could run Keisha out of town and Keisha wouldn't say something to Tommy. But again, Ghost is on this whole, I don't want to use violence, I'm going to try to finesse people. He went from trying to use violence to solve all of his problems to using money to solve all his problems. And the reality is everybody can't be bought. So it's not working. So the minions end up kidnapping Dre. They do end up kidnapping Dre. They deliver Dre to Tommy. Tommy decides that he'll handle Dre later. He doesn't. They end up tying. No. That's what it was. They end up tying. Excuse me, I can't even get it out. Let me rewind. See, so much stuff goes down. Let me rewind. Dre ends up meeting up with Sax. This before Sax got fired. Sax puts a GPS on him, puts a low jack on him. So when the minions kidnap Dre, they don't know he's got the low jack on him. And when they take him to Tommy, that's when he tells them, look, I got the low jack on me. Like, if you kill me now, they're going to be able to trace it right back here. So now they got to regroup and figure out what they're going to do with Dre. In the meantime and in between time, they leave Dre with the big dude, the big, tall, dark-skinned dude that's on Weight Watchers. They leave Dre with him. He ends up getting out of his ties, getting the gun away from the dude, and shooting him. So he dead, Dre gets away. I was like, Lord have mercy. Here we go. So that's with the minions. Now, on the other side, with the minions, hold on, before I get to that, let me tell y'all, yeah. Hold on. Look, something else I'm missing, y'all. Jason is telling Tommy and Ghost that they gotta work together. Like, I don't know what it is that he has with them to make them, that he wants to see them working together. I don't know what it is. But anyway, he got this whole thing worked out where Ghost and Tommy now gonna have to work together to try to, sell these drugs or whatever. The minions send one of the cousins to go scare Keisha down to the beauty supply. He shows up to scare Keisha. Keisha, joke's on you. Keisha got that gun and Keisha ends up killing him. And she ends up calling Tommy to come in, to the shop. Tommy gets there, he sees the dead body. He's like, we gotta get rid of the body. Keisha's like, what are you talking about? It was self-defense. He broke into my shop. I shot him in self-defense. He was like, and with what gun? Do you really think that that gun is legal? You really think that the police, if they trace those serial numbers back, what you think gonna happen? You really want them sniffing around the shop? You really want an investigation? Like, come on. So Keisha was like, Tommy, we gotta get out of this drug shit, Tommy. I'm not gonna do this, Tommy. What about me and Cash, Tommy? Next thing you know, Tommy is taking her to a house in Connecticut, and he done bought himself a house in the suburbs. Now, when the hell did Tommy have time to go shopping, sign paperwork, and get a house out in the suburbs? I don't know if it's in Connecticut, but anyway, it's in the suburbs. I will never know. When Tommy took time out to do all of this, I will never know. But somehow or another, he got a house for Keisha out in the suburbs for her and Cash, and they gonna live there and live happily ever after. Now, what I find very interesting is this whole show started because Ghost wanted to get out the game and take care of his family, and Tommy had a problem with it, and Tommy didn't understand. Now all of a sudden, you want to be, Molly homemaker with you and Keisha and Cash, but neither here nor there. Tommy confronts Tariq, and see, Tariq thought everything was sweet. He thought he could just apologize to Tommy and it would be all good. Tommy dangled his ass off the roof. He hit him with red 5 heartbeat style and dangled him off the roof and let him know, look, like, I need you to understand. If you want to be in the drug game, this is how the drug game roll. He was like, you supposed to be dead. Now, that's the second person in this episode that told Tariq, you're supposed to be dead. If you were anybody else, you would be dead. And I think Tariq probably pooped his pants, because I think he really thought that he was about to get dropped. And I think for a minute, Tommy thought about it. Like, I really think Tommy thought about it for a minute. Last but not least, we see Tasha talking to Tariq at the end of the episode. And Tasha tells Tariq, look, I know that you are not going to stop doing what you're doing. I already know. Your father thinks he got through to you, but I know he didn't. I know that you want to be this thug. You want to be a drug dealer. She says, so look, if we can't beat him, we're going to join him. I know you're never going to stop. So if you're going to be out here in these streets, you need to learn how to do it right. And of course, Tariq was like, what you talking about? What you talking about? She was like, stop playing with me. Who you think helped Ghost become who he is? So I'm gonna teach you the game. I'm gonna teach you everything about the game, and I'm gonna make you good at it. So he gonna pull out the brick he got from Dre, talking about something. Can you help me figure out what to do with this? See, you want to be in this game and don't even know what you doing. You don't even know how you gonna do. You done sat there and blackmailed this man into giving you some drugs. He give you a whole brick of coke and you don't know what to do with it. What is wrong with you, Tariq? Anyway, that was last week's episode. I'm going to go and sit here and try to get this week's episode dropped out here tonight. Talk to y'all later. Peace.